And we begin with a local farmer who says with razor-thin profit margins and rising input costs, farmers locally and nationwide have to make tough decisions. Local 6's Jaron Von Runnen spoke with that farmer on what this new reality looks like.
Even when things go right, the numbers still don't add up. A local farmer tells me rising input costs have erased profit margins, forcing farmers here and across the country to rethink how much land they can afford to plant. Increasing input costs are reshaping what planting season looks like for farms nationwide. In Georgia, one farmer cut 3,000 acres, and local farmers like Daniel Edwards say the same pressures are building in the region.
We're in for a rough ride in 2026. I really hate to start out a year being negative, but it doesn't look pretty right now, and there's not a pretty forecast for the 2026 and beyond with no good trade deal in China.
He says profit margins are razor thin, with inputs rising while commodities fall. He adds that farmers are watching their equity that they've built over a lifetime go backwards or even pay more out of pocket.
Every farmer across the United States feels it right now. Any farmer that says they don't feel the economic pressure of what we're dealing with going into 2026 is just fooling themselves.
And because profit margins are low, to even in the zeros, he says,
no farmer is making a profit right now unless you're just growing drastic yields, which you can't bank on that every year. I mean, you got to bank on the fact that you're going to have a good solid average year.
Edwards says he's seen soybean prices drop from $10.50 to $10.27 per bushel and wheat prices from $5.50 to $5.15 per bushel.
Doesn't sound like much, but when you start doing the bushels on what a farmer produces on soybeans, it's a pretty big hit to the pocketbook. You can have perfect yields. You know, I can grow 200 bushel corn and 70 bushel beans if it all works out perfect, but you're still not, I'd say at that point you're at a break even.
While Edwards applauded the government for enacting a bridge gap payment for farmers, he says it's not enough to sustain farms. In order for things to get better, he stresses the need for China to fulfill its trade commitments and the importance of reducing commodity oversupply. In McCracken County, Jaron Von Runnen, WPSD Local 6.
While Edwards says things are not looking up for farmers, he's optimistic that things will get better.